All right. Good morning, good afternoon. All right, so welcome to my channel today. All right, I have another workflow I'm going to show how to set up a reminder. Yeah, how to use the WBiz tool we talked about the last time for reminder. So we are going to see how to use it for reminder. And the last time we talked about how to use it for message. So today we'll talk about how to use it for reminder. So we have looked at this tool before. So if you don't know about that, you can check out our video. We have done a video on that already. So this is a WhatsApp integrations tool. So if you have it, you don't need WhatsApp API. You don't need Meta account if you want to use WhatsApp to do a lot of message sending, reminders, and a lot of WhatsApp activities. All right. So if you're in a free trial, so you have chance to add one phone number, which I have done. Yeah, but if you're in paid plan, you can add more phone numbers and you can integrate other applications here, like here, you can see. So if you come here, the phone numbers, so I have only one phone number attached. You can see my quota, 1 of 1, exhausted. So you can add other ones if you want to add by upgrading your account. So if you go here, you check their accounts. So the Unibox is used to retrieve messages. So, but it's a paid plan stuff. So, but for now, we are just looking at how to use it for a reminder. Okay, all right. So we are using anything for a reminder. So I built a workflow so that I will not waste much time in the video. So we'll just go straight to the workflow and look at what the workflow does. Okay, so the workflow has two routes. So the first route we create the reminder, and the second route we cancel it. So we are running our workflow every 12 p.m. depending on the time zone you are. So we are simulating a small business. So we are simulating this as a database or wherever you are getting your data. So you have your customers that subscribes to your products, maybe monthly or yearly or any time period. And when they subscribe and you want to remind them when their subscription is expiring, the expiration date is coming close, so you want to remind them continuously. So when you give them that reminder, because people like reminding them, when you remind them, they will take action to renew their plan. So we simulate a database, so it can be from any database, anywhere you get your data, but we are using Google Sheets to simulate that. So our customers DB. So we have each customer has an ID, has a first name, a last name, a full name, the client status. So he might be active, that means the customer is still active, can pay us. He might be suspended, maybe he did something bad. Inactive, maybe he cancelled his subscription with us. So the country he's coming from, his phone number, the product ID that he bought, the product name. So the product, what's the status of the product? So the customer can be active and have an active product, can also be active, but his product is suspended or cancelled. So these are product statuses. So when did he buy the product the first time? When is the product expiring? So I want us to simulate, let's say, okay, let's simulate this. I'll take this off, take this off. Okay, so expires on, give the date that is going to expire and renewed. So when they renew it, so the reminder when it was sent, we'll get the reminder ID and the reminder time stamp. So we're going to see all those things. So if we go here to our workflow, so the first thing here is the trigger. So the trigger runs daily by 12 noon, depending on the time zone of your server. So mine should run in watt, 12 p.m. watt. So if I do this, it should run, though that is not my time zone though. Okay, so one thing again I would advise is when you are working on your workflow, it's better you use the set node to set all your credentials. So I'm going to use the set node to set my credentials. So I have the high quality authenticator. So it's a set node. So here I'm going to put my API, my WhatsApp client ID, and my API. So you need these three things. So how do you get it? So if you go to here, so here you can see your WhatsApp ID. This is it, 6635. So you come here, you put it, your API client ID. How do you get it? So you go here, you go to your settings. This is your settings. You go to API, this is API keys. So you can see this is my API client ID. So you attach it. What is this? The next thing is to get your API key. So I don't have it yet. I will create one. So I'll come here, create one. So it's created. I'm going to delete it. So don't bother. I will delete it after the video. So don't bother to try to use it. So this will be my key. So it's good to do this. So my key is set. Okay. I'm going to save this. So now, what does this do? So this is getting the client DB, that is this. And what are we checking? So we are checking the client status that is active. So if we go here, clients that we want to get active clients, customers, and here I want to also know that their product is also active. So if we come here, their product, we want to know that the product is active. We don't want to send it to suspended or cancelled customers. So we get that. So you can see we have 4 customers that have that. So you can see, you check, we have 4 customers. And if you look here, you can see the customer, this customer. So he has a product, is active, and his product is active. And this customer is active, his product is active. For the 4 of them, they're active and the products are active. So we want to do it one by one. So we'll put a loop that we'll use to batch it. So we are batching it one by one. So the batch size should be 1. So we'll pick the first one. So that loop is this. Okay. So the next thing is we want to check 5 days expiry. So for my case, I'm looking at when they buy the product, they have this. So 5 days for the product to expire. So today is 19th October. So let's say 23rd of October. That is 4 days. So their product has more. Let's make it 24th. So their product is 24th. It's going to expire on the 24th. So they're going to check that. So there's a code node here. So I'm not going to explain the code so that I don't disturb people that are not developers. But you can generate this code with any AI to just tell it to give you a code that checks for 5 days expiration. So what I'm doing here is just to get today's date and compare it with the date that I have in the expire. And if it is true, we return it. So that is what we're just doing here. So what are we returning? We are returning the client ID from the last node, the full name of the customer, the client status, and this. So this is very important, either true or false, to know if there is 5 days expiring. So yeah, the customer has a product that is expiring in 5 days, and this left. So you can see 4 days. So it has 4 days left. So it's still using 23rd. So I placed 24th. So let's go and do that again. Let's go and do that. So let's do this again. So we do this. We check expiry again. So it should be 5 days left. So days left is 5 days. So that is correct. And has expiry is true. So the customer has an expiry product. But if we make it more than 5 days, it will be false. So if we go here and make this say 25, so it should be false. It should be false. So if I go here again and check this to get that fresh data. So if I come and check expiry here, if I check expiry, so it should be 6 days and false. So it has false. Yeah, so it doesn't have. So we'll go back and change this to 24th. Okay, so I'm gonna get the fresh data again. I'm gonna get the fresh data again. So if I do this and get the fresh data again. Okay, so now I check this. So you have it there. So this it expires on 24th. Okay, so the next node is just a simple node that add different countries and their die code. So just add country codes, the name of the country, their die code, and the ISO 2. So just run it and get that. Okay. So the next one is to prepare the payload for the WhatsApp. So we're going to send a message, and this is the API endpoint you're going to use. So to send a reminder, you are going to send a post request to this endpoint, and these are the required parameters you're going to send. So you're going to use your client ID, your API key. You're going to give the reminder a name, the phone of the person, the message, and the cone expression. So the cone expression means the time to send the message. So you can also add all these things. It's not optional, but you can add them. Okay, so I'm going to prepare the payload for that. So let's prepare the payload. So let me just show what the payload is preparing. So for this is just the credentials, the client ID, just get those. So I'm using this image URL. Remember there's an image URL there. So the next thing is just to get the data from the previous nodes, the expiry data, all this data here. So I'm going to check country match. So if you check in the sheet here, there's a country here, which is a country, there's a phone number. So you check each country. Since we have our country codes, we have the country codes that checks the since we have that, so we can now use this one. Let's go, let's check. Yeah, here. So we can do this here. So we are checking this country code here with the country list from the one we had from before. So we can now append the die code. So the die code is that the one that has plus in front of it. Okay, so I'm not going to explain this to you. So here we prepare the message. So we're just showing the product that is expiring, the created time, and we return that. So we're also returning this. This is just like a trigger that will give us either to move ahead or dump it. Okay, so I'll do this too. Let's do it. I'm gonna do this. gonna do this. So yeah, so it's correct as experiment too. So the next thing is to go and check it. So we're gonna use an if. We're gonna use an if node here. So if it has expiry, so if it has expiry is true, we will not send. But if the expiry is not true, so we are checking this. If it is true, so if it has expiring products, we can move ahead. If not, we can move ahead. So we check that. We go through the two node, two routes. So normally we're supposed to verify the number here. So we use this to verify the number. So this is how we verify the number. We use the verification create to verify the number. I've explained this in my former video, but I'm not going to verify this number. So I'm going to cut this off here. So I'm just waiting for 10 minutes to now check the status of the verification. So and when you are done verifying, you check the status using the campaign ID, and you want to use your keys also. So I'm not going to verify the number. I'm going to do direct already. The WhatsApp I'm going to use is a verified number. So that's what I'm going to. But you should put this. But verification is a paid um it's a paid stuff here. So if you go here, you should see where there was number verification. So if you click here, you can verify. This is where you can verify your number, the API for that. So I'm still going to base on my reminder stuff. So I'm cutting this off, and from this, I'm not going to check the status. So I'm going to send direct from here to here. So let me speak this. Yeah. So I'm going to do this. Yeah. So expiring soon. So we're going to send this. So true, it has an expiry product here. So we have our load. Let's now send. Let's now send the message. So we're going to send the message here. I've showed this in my former video, so you can look at how to send the message. The endpoints are here. Okay, so this is you use the reminder. So this is for reminder. So we're going to use the reminder query, like I said. We're going to send the client ID, the API key, the reminder name. So what we need. So we are sending to these endpoints. The authentication, the body should have your client ID and your API key. So this is your API key here. So remember, we have added it from our authenticator, so we can go to in our authenticator and pick it up. If we go to our authenticator, so it's good to put your stuff like this so that you don't be adding it manually. It's not good. It's a good habit to put it in a set node. So that's our API key. And the next thing is our client ID, which we have. This is it. Okay, so the message type is one, which is so you have three message types. You have zero text, one message with image, and two message with a file, maybe a document, a video, and audio. So one we're sending because we have an image in our message. So the country code. So you're gonna get the country code. Yeah, of where you're sending the message. So remember the payload has a country code that is returned. If you check the payload here, so you can see we return the country code of the person using that country code node. So we returned it, we are using it. The next is the phone of the person. So we join the phone. This is the phone. So the message, remember we have the message already. The image URL. So we have an image URL that we have from that payload. So reminder name. So maybe just give it to that so they know a reminder here just for you. So the next thing is a cone expression. So I want to explain what is a cone expression. So cone expression is the time that you want the person to be receiving the messages. So if you go here, they give the cone expression, they explained it how it works, but I'm going to show you how it works here. So how cone expression works here is you usually have five numbers. So you have one, two, three, four. So what it means, the values, the first one is minutes, second one is hour, day of the month, and day of the week. So if you have 09 this, so what it means is 0 minutes, hour is 9 hour. That means at 9 a.m. day of the month. So that means every day of the month. So that means 9 a.m. every day of the month. This is every month. This is every day of the week. So it means run this reminder every day at 9 a.m. the server time. But I'm not going to use it. I'm going to use something like this. So what does it mean? Remember, this is minutes. So 0 minutes. But this is /8. That means 24 divided by 8. That means every 8 hours of the day. Every 8 hours of the day. That is what we are running. So the same thing here. So that is what that means. So that is the one I'm going to use. I'm going to use that here. So the next thing again is you need a time zone. So there are two ways to add your time zone. So you can use the standard abbreviation, maybe UTC, Watt, this, or you can use full time zone. So like this, Africa, Lagos, Asia, Kokota, Europe, London, US, Eastern, like that. So if you also go in their stuff, they have given explanation on how to put those here. So there is nothing much there. So I'm going to send a reminder. So I'm going to send a reminder. So, okay. So you can see I don't have enough credits to send a reminder normally. I don't have credits to send that reminder. But I'm going to show you one I have sent already. Yeah, I've exhausted the credit I have. I'm going to show you one I've sent already. If I go to my WhatsApp, I have one I have sent here. So you can see it. Yeah, a friendly reminder. So I've used to send it here. So you can see I'm sending it here. I'm using it to send. Okay. So that is that if you have your credit. So for now, it's also a paid stuff. So you have to have some credits to do that, just little credits, the monthly subscription. Yeah. So when you're done, the next thing is to update the sheet. So I'm updating the sheet here. So I'm updating the sheet here. So what am I doing? I go there. What am I updating? I just want to do the reminder time and the reminder sent. So here, so remember we have this send. So we have two values here. So it can be either yes or it can be. So when we cancel it, because when it is not cancelled, it will continue to send even after the 5 days. So you don't want that scenario where it will be sending after the 5 days. You want it after the 5 days have elapsed and the product has been suspended or cancelled for the customer. You don't need to send the customer a reminder again. Or if you want to send more, you can put more and also cancel it. But you must make sure that you cancel it. You can't be sending the messages all the days of the customer's life, even when he has renewed. So you have to find a time to cancel. So we have two values. So sent, that is yes. So we have those values here and the time that it was sent. So you add the time because the other second route is going to check those. So that is that. So if the customer after verification, the customer the number is not correct, so we are doing this here. So I'm going to disconnect this here, connect this back to here. Okay. So I'm going to save this. So the number after verification, if it is not verified, so they have also verification endpoint. So if you come here, number verification, you can verify the status. So you check if the number is verified. So here, so the number is verified. So it can be pending, it can be invalid. So if the number is verified, we send. So that is what we are doing here. This if here. So if we check the status, if it's verified, we send the message, the reminder. If it's not verified, if it's pending or after, because we waited for 10 minutes. So if it is invalid, we don't send it. So it's a loop we go back and check the next customer again. So we are doing it at the same time, so we don't need to be doing it every. So we loop through each of the customers until we are done with all the customers that have 5 days expiring products with us. So the second route here is to cancel it. So what are we doing here? We'll get the reminder sent. So now reminder sent should be yes. Remember, should be yes now. So we'll get the rows that have reminder sent. So we get those ones. So the next thing we are checking now. No, for creating the reminder, you don't have anything here yet. But when you send the reminder here, is we now have yes. So and we now have timestamp when it was sent. So we now need to check that timestamp. So we check it. This is just a simple code, you can generate this. So what are we checking here? Check reminder sent within the last 5 days. So we'll return if it is correct. So if I check here, um, if I do something here, here, and here I did 24. So if I do this, let's say the reminder ID, we're just assuming, and this is when it was sent. So it was sent on the 14th. So today is 19th, 5 days. We're just simulating that. Yeah. So if we check this, we should, yeah. So reminder sent, yes. The time type it was sent on the 14th, we're assuming that. So assuming it was sent on the, so the next thing we're going to look through each of the customers and we'll have many customers that have been sent. So we'll cancel. So the next thing is to cancel. So you're going to make a post request to this. So if you come here, you have cancel reminder. So you cancel a reminder with this. So you send it to the same point. You can say reminder cancel. And what are you sending? Just the reminder ID. Remember when we created the reminder, we had an ID, and that ID, that's what I'm going to use to cancel it. That's simple as that. You just get the status. So already we have the reminder ID here. We pick it up and use it. So here, so our client ID, we are getting it from Authenticator, API key from Authenticator. So the reminder ID, we get it from the sheet and we cancel it. After it, the next thing for us to do is to update our sheet again because we can't leave it at yes. So we have to leave it at cancelled. So we just have to go to our sheets and cancel it. So cancelled, reminder sent. So here will now become cancelled. Here from yes, it will now be cancelled. So this is aware. So with this, you can see you get in touch with the customers directly compared to using maybe a calendar or an email. So this is very, very good. Thank you very much for watching my video. Please, I'm going to share this workflow for people that want it. The link will be embedded on the description. But please subscribe to my channel for me to be creating such videos. Subscribe, please like this video. Also share it with your friends, share it with people. Thank you very much for giving your time to watch and also watch some of my videos that I've created. Thank you very much. Your support is what we need to keep creating such innovative and creative videos to help businesses grow and make life easy. Thank you and goodbye.